Welcome back to the Chronic Pleasure Podcast. My name is Karen Laurie, and on this podcast, we're talking about all things pleasurable. One of the things that I hear a lot of people talk about is how you have to work hard. You have to work hard. You have to struggle. You have to put a lot of energy into what you're doing. And I was brought up to believe that. But this did not give me pleasure. This did not make me feel better. And in fact, it was a challenge for me because I did not like that feeling of struggling and working hard. There was also the factor of rushing, trying to be on time, trying to get something done. And that didn't feel good to me. And I realized that as I started to feel better and better, as I started to get more healed, that I had natural thoughts about some things that felt good. So, for example, for me, it always felt good for me to work out. So, I always had this natural thought about working out is fun. It's really easy. It feels so good. I love being outside. I love being with my friends. I love playing. I love being physical. I love being fit. I love being strong. I love being active. I love being an athlete. I love being healthy, right? That was kind of my mindset that I was unconsciously having naturally when I thought about exercising. And I realized one day that that mindset was something that was serving me really well. I basically, except for when I was really sick or really struggling, never stopped working out, or if I had an injury. I pretty much just always found a way to work out because I liked it so much. But it never felt hard. I was always felt good. Even if I was doing something that was like physically challenging, I do handstands on people's hands, handstands on people's heads. I do what's called acrobatics. Sometimes I do one arm handstands on somebody's head or on somebody's hand. So those things people would say, oh my God, that's so hard. But for me, it was so fun. It didn't feel hard. And I remember thinking, I wonder if I can apply this to other parts of my life. So I started to think about things that weren't as fun. So for example, I never really liked to cook. Cooking was something that I just didn't know how to do it, and it didn't feel fun. And then I started thinking about, what if I could change my attitude about cooking? What if I could feel the way about cooking that I feel about working out? So I decided to experiment, and I started to practice thinking about cooking. Even before I felt this way, I just started to imagine I felt this way by saying, God, I love to cook. It feels so good to cook. I love to make healthy food. I love cooking organic. I love to cook in a way that makes my body healthy and strong and capable. It feels so good to cook good food. It feels so good to be healthy. And I would just start to practice saying that. And then I got inspired to, I took one cooking class. Then I got inspired to get a subscription of something called Sunbasket, which is all organic food. And they send you the ingredients and then you make it. And I learned all sorts of ways of cooking through there. And then I just realized, wow, I can cook. And I stopped getting Sunbasket, even though they're great. I stopped getting Sunbasket and I started just cooking. And now everything I make is so delicious. And when people come over and I cook, they think it's delicious and healthy and yummy and inspiring. And it has shifted so remarkably. And just so you can see the difference, when I was married and even before, because I had this narcolepsy that I've now recovered from, I'd start cooking and then I'd fall asleep. And I often awoke to the smell of something burning in the oven or to the sound of my husband screaming, why is everything smelling like, it's burning, what's going on? And I would have been like jolted awake from this terrible experience. And to go from that, where I had such doubt about my capacity to cook and where I couldn't cook anything, even when I really made an effort to cook, it would be hard for me to please my husband with that. He had a different kind of palate than I did. And so I didn't get a lot of affirmation about it. So I just had this feeling at the time of being so, like I'm a really bad cook. I'm not good at all. And I felt ashamed about it. And if somebody would say, would you want to cook together? I'd be like, oh no, I'd rather go out. But then when I practiced shifting how I thought about it, it changed. And I became a good cook. And not only that, it's fun to cook and it's easy to cook and it's delicious. I made a was actually my friend's idea last night, but just to share this with you, it was so good. It was just a spinach salad with fresh blueberries, and then I like making olive oil and all organic olive oil from Greece, really good olive oil. I'm like an olive oil connoisseur with fresh organic lemon. Everything's organic, and then we added for seasoning salt, nutmeg, and cinnamon. Oh, and fresh grated ginger. It was incredible. It was it was so good. And it was such a surprising mix of flavors. So what happens as I've practiced thinking that I'm a good cook is I actually have become a good cook. And not only that, even when I'm just cooking for myself or when I cook for other people, they say that too. And it really has become a real pleasure to cook healthy, organic, nutritious foods. So the thing about life being hard, or that you have to struggle, or that you have to work hard, I thought, let me see if I can find a way to the other side of that. So I thought about, a lot of people say you have to have discipline. You have to have discipline to do things. But what the other meaning of discipline is you're in trouble and you're going to get disciplined. And I never liked getting in trouble, and I certainly didn't like getting disciplined. And so discipline didn't have a good feeling for me. The other aspect of the word discipline is that it comes from the word disciple, and I didn't want to have religion. I didn't have a real religious. I had some church experience, but it was with a youth group. But I didn't have any real religious training. But I wasn't someone who wanted to be like a disciple in any way. And so I thought, well, what would be something that would be better than discipline? And as I was thinking of it, I thought, oh, what about Blissipline? Blissipline, Blissipline, or I guess it's not ICI, Bliss, Blissipline, Blissipline. And I thought, well, what is that? And it was like I had received that thought about Blissipline, and then I wanted to understand it. So I started to look at it, and I realized I had used the Blissipline with working out, and I became, and still am, an athlete. I had used the Blissipline without understanding it with cooking. So now I thought, I'm going to do this in every area of my life. So I have done it now in every area of my life, where I've shifted my thinking about whatever the subject is, whatever the thing is that I'm going to do, so that it feels really fun, so that it feels really exciting, so that it feels really like it'll be easy, like it'll be fun and effortless and beautiful. And what's happened is it has become that way. So for example, I used to always be late. So I would feel this guilt, and I would feel anxious, and I'd feel like I have to rush. But I thought, let me see if I can use discipline or Blissipline to shift that feeling. So I started practicing. I love being on time. It feels so good to be on time. It feels so good to be in the flow. It feels so good to be relaxed when I arrive. It feels so good to have people feel honored because I'm there at the right time. It feels so good to be on time, and it feels so good to be easy about it, and to be intuitive, and to leave at the perfect time, and to arrive at the perfect time. It feels so good to arrive a little early even. And I started to say that, and then my pattern of having been miss late, I was so late all the time that everybody made fun of me. The pattern of that shifted, and now I'm somebody who's, every once in a while I'm late, but I am on time more than anybody. I shouldn't say more than anybody I know, but as much as anybody I know. I'm on time. And it's incredible what that shift has done, because I shifted the thoughts I had from discipline, trying to do it and making an effort to be on time, and it was a challenge, to blissipline, where I was now imagining myself being on time. I was now creating the thoughts of someone who is on time. And then I was naturally on time. And I've done this in every area of my life. And so what's happened is my life has become easy. I do not work hard. I work easy. When I'm learning something, it's not hard to learn. It's easy to learn. I don't have any problems when I make a mistake, because that's part of the learning process. So I'm not bothered if I don't understand something, or if I do something wrong or whatever. It doesn't bother me, because I just know that's part of how you learn. And I've learned how to take the judgment off, so that I could really be present with the learning experience without any judgment. And it doesn't matter anymore how quickly I get to the thing I'm trying to get to. What matters is it's easy and it's fun, and I feel good on that way. So this is another form of pleasure that you can allow yourself to have, that can open up your life so that you can have more freedom and more fun, be on time, be a better cook, enjoy exercising, whatever it is, and so that you can have more pleasure in your life. So please go to chronicpleasurebook.com, where you can get your free gift of any of my books. And thank you so much. I love you.